Hi, today I wanted to talk for a couple of minutes about our visual paging project for the Washington State Ferries. Washington State Ferries, of course, already has audio paging on all the ferries. Paging is used to notify passengers of arrivals, departures, and of course, most importantly, emergency situations and other safety information. According to the ADA policies, that information also has to be made available for passengers who may be hard of hearing. And that's the purpose behind the visual paging project for Washington State Ferries. Any passenger walking onto one of the ferry boats is going to see multiple signs throughout the ship, and mostly they contain advertising and other local information. The visual paging project was set up to override those signs with the same information that was going on the overhead. And what makes this project unique is that it had to be really easy to manage and really easy to change what that visual paging message was, and then send that out to the sign until it's overridden or it times out. So what I'm going to show you today is not only how the sign looks when a visual page is made, but also how all the stewards and other ship personnel can make those changes to the sign. So if you take a close-up here, Aaron, of the actual control panel, we created this with the Washington State Ferries to make it very easy to use. And what you see on here is they'll have the ability, and by the way, this is set up right where the audible paging system is set up. So when they go to release an audible page throughout the speakers on the system, they go right down here and translate and send that same message out to all the signs. So when that person then sends out the audio page, they can come down here and then do the video page. And you can see on here, they can use this for emergency messaging. We set up, with their help, some standard messages to make those quick and easy to deliver. There's also variable messaging that allows us to change some of what's in the message. And then down here is where you actually submit those. We even created a keyboard for them right in the sign so they can do those variable messages. So just to pick a couple of examples, if there is an emergency on board, that person can go right to the emergency messaging and let them know that they need to go to the back or the front of the vessel. They don't use fore and aft because these are ferries that go backwards and forwards, so fore becomes aft with each ship. But if they wanted to move all the passengers to the end of the vessel, I know that's been submitted, and if you pan back, you can see how that advertising sign has now been replaced with the vessel emergency, moving everyone to the assembly station at the number one end of the vessel. That is the Bainbridge end. So each ship is very specific depending on where it's going and where it's coming back from. Once that message is complete, I can stop that message and all the signs on board return back to the advertising that was there before. And that's really most of how the operation works. There's also standard messages. Not every message is an emergency message. So as they get ready to arrive or depart, when the passengers need to be notified that the vessel is leaving, they hear it. If they can't hear it, they can see it. It again takes over the sign until I tell it to stop that message. And that's really how simple it is. We set this up working directly with some of their union employees to make sure the procedures were easy enough to manage for them and wouldn't change what they had to do on an overall basis. And then there is the ability also to send out different safety messages, vessel arriving information, and variable messages which allow us to put really anything on the sign that we want to. We can do a custom message if there's a delay. We actually have drop downs here, and you'll see these in other screens as well, but the reason for the delays are limited to certain items. So when I go down here and select from the reason list, there's fog, medical emergency, distress call, police activity. We are delayed because of vessel maintenance. And again, that information overrides all the signs, and attention passengers, your vehicle is delayed due to vessel maintenance. So there's a variety of different types of messages. Again, when I'm finished, I can stop the messages once I have it all clear or once I know we're back to departing. And then again, with the variable messages, one of the things that happens on board often is a car alarm might go off at the bottom of the ferry. There may be a lost item, and we have the ability to select from a list of lost items. One other feature to show you is if the lost items doesn't appear on here, we thought of almost everything, umbrellas and driver's licenses and things like that. But if somebody lost a teddy bear, we created a virtual keyboard. So right on the screen, if I select other, my fingers aren't working too well here. If I select other, I also have the ability to type in any other kind of message. There is a virtual keyboard. It also can be set up with a physical keyboard, which is a little bit easier for me to use. Here's an example of a custom message. Please enjoy, is that working? Mm-hmm. Please enjoy your stay. So that really gives them an infinite number of different types of messages. And I can now submit that. I don't know if my typing is too good. For the sake of time, I'll go ahead and submit that. It should say, please enjoy your stay. But that really gives them the ability to very quickly select from a preset list of messages, emergency messages, and tailor the message to anything that they need to send out to their hard of hearing passengers. And that's the Washington State Ferries Visual Paging Project.